Has Africa truly gained independence, or has it merely traded one form of dependence for another, specifically on Russia? This is a question that has been simmering in the minds of many as we witness the continent's dynamics with global powers evolve. When we talk about Africa's independence, it is crucial to understand that it encompasses more than just political autonomy. It also includes economic self-sufficiency and the freedom to manage and benefit from the continent's vast resources. However, the situation in the Central African Republic paints a different picture. Russia's involvement over the past 5 years has been substantial, but it seems to be a situation of the fox guarding the henhouse. The country's resources, instead of benefiting its people, have been extensively exploited. So, we must ask ourselves, is Russia's involvement in Africa any different from that of other Western imperialist countries? This is a question that will set the stage for our next discussion. Russia's actions in Africa bear a striking resemblance to the tactics employed by Western imperialist countries. Let's take a closer look. When we examine Russia's involvement in the Central African Republic, a pattern begins to emerge that echoes the past actions of France, Britain, and the United States in other parts of Africa. In the past 5 years, Russia has shown an intense interest in the Central African Republic, but not necessarily for altruistic reasons. The country's rich resources, including diamonds, gold, and uranium, have been the main attraction. This resource-focused approach is eerily similar to the playbook of Western imperialist countries who have historically exploited Africa's resources under the guise of aid and development. France, for instance, has had a long history of extracting uranium from Niger, leaving environmental damage and health issues in its wake. Britain, too, is no stranger to this game, with its history of diamond mining in Sierra Leone. The United States, on the other hand, has been known to secure oil interests in countries like Nigeria, often at the expense of local communities and the environment. The parallels are clear. Russia's actions in the Central African Republic are not unique. They are part of a larger pattern of resource exploitation that has been repeated time and again by Western imperialist powers. It appears that Russia, like its Western counterparts, is more interested in Africa's resources than in its independence. The implications of this continued dependence on external powers are far-reaching for Africa's quest for genuine independence. Let's consider this. When Africa leans heavily on nations like Russia to achieve independence, it inadvertently ties its destiny to the whims and strategies of these nations. This dependence on external powers not only compromises Africa's sovereignty, but also hampers its ability to chart its own course and shape its own future. Ironically, this dependence has led to a new form of colonization where Africa's vast resources are plundered under the guise of partnerships and alliances. This is not the independence our forefathers fought for. It's a perpetuation of the old oppressive system under a new name. What happens when these foreign powers decide to change their policies or priorities? Africa would be left in the lurch, forced to grapple with the fallout of decisions made thousands of miles away. Economic instability, political upheaval, and social unrest could be the unfortunate consequences. It's time for Africa to break free from this dependence. It's time to build robust, independent economies based on our own resources, our own strategies, and our own people. It's time to create political systems that serve the interests of Africans and not foreign powers. It's time to redefine the narrative of Africa by Africans for Africans. For Africa to be truly free and independent, it must break free from the chains of dependence, whether they come from the East or the West.